Hello friends, good morning and good evening everyone. Your ALP here. Welcome back to our channel. ALP talks general and electrical aspects. So today we are here to discuss about transformer test, routine test. So in the transformer test we have different arrangements. Mainly today we are going to discuss no load loss and no load current measurement. So how we can measure these two parameters? This is generally a routine test for the transformer. Routine test means we are going to measure this parameter for all the transformers, whatever the manufacturer is manufacturing. So how we can measure this and everything we are going to discuss now. For example, say this is the transformer. So I'm just trying to draw like a representation. So these two lines represents the core, the CRGO or amorphous iron core we can say. So how we can measure no load loss and no load current? So what we will do is we will apply rated current to the one of the side, rated voltage to the one of the side. For example, voltage whatever it is there, we will apply rated voltage. And frequency, we will apply rated frequency on one side of the winding, and all other circuits, whatever it may be, how many it may be, we will just keep open circuit. And so in this process, we are going to connect all the meters like a voltmeter and ammeter and watt meters for measuring how much voltage we are applying, what is the frequency, and how much current it is drawing. That's what we will say no load current, and finally how many watts it is consuming. That's what we will say no load loss. So we will discuss those things here. So mainly the voltage point of view, the meters whatever we will have voltmeters, those meters we will monitor for mean value, average value, otherwise we will say average value we will take care, and we will convert that into the RMS value by using suitable multipliers, because this gives good accuracy for us. And we should apply rated voltage only, and the frequency should be rated frequency only. But practically it is not possible, right? There can be a little bit variation in the voltages, variation in the frequencies. So mainly the frequency, whatever it is there, so how much it should be. So it should be, for example, if we say 50 hertz is the rated frequency, then it should be within plus or minus 3%. So if it is it should be within plus or minus 3%. Up to that level, we can do test. We can perform the testing by using that particular supply. For example, if supply is say 47 hertz, otherwise 52 hertz like that, then this we should not perform the test on the transformer by using that supply. So in no load loss, no load current, the supply voltage and supply frequency plays a major role. So that is the reason most of the companies will have their own voltage generation, voltage and frequency. They will get a desired frequency, desired voltage, so that they don't want to depend on the grid. So this is what most of the companies also will do, but small companies generally they will use the grid voltage only, available grid voltage only, but these things to be taken care. So what happens when there is a voltage change? So how we will perform all the tests? So let's discuss little bit more detail. For example, say you have 49 hertz. This is 49 hertz is the current frequency of the supply. Then is it okay? Yes, we can do the test on the transformer by using this supply, but we need to correct the certain voltages and final measured no load loss. So how we can do the corrections and all, let's see. So say for example 433 volts and 50 hertz. So this is the rated parameters. For example, this is the rated parameters. So if the current frequency is 49 hertz, then what we have to do? So let's see here. We are going to take a ratio 50 by 49. So let's just take the ratio. So 50 heads we should get, but currently we have so 49, so we will get 1.02. So what we have to do is, whatever 433 volts is there, 433 into 1.02. So we have to apply 441.66 voltage. 441.66 voltage at the primary side. I mean at the this much voltage we should apply, because the frequency is 49 hertz. Then is it okay? Simply the meters readings for whatever it is there, they will give readings to us. Let's see. So here we have another parameter for calculating no load losses. So we have one ratio here, 50 by, so this is just an empirical formula. Most of the companies or factories will use these parameters for correcting the no load losses. So whatever the no load loss no load loss, it is being measured. So we should multiply that no load loss with one of the factor we are going to derive now. So here let's see, it is simply 50 by 49, 50 by 49 plus, and again 50 by 49 whole square, and we are going to take an average of that. So if you take the average, it will give 1.03. It means whatever the voltage is there, whatever the no load loss we measured through wattmeter, that number we should multiply with 1.03. This is for one side, I mean for frequency lower side. So whenever we have a frequency on lower side, this is the procedure. So what happens if frequency is on upper side? So whenever the frequency is on upper side, for example, let's say 51 hertz, then what we will do is, so we will simply say similar way we will convert. So 50 is our rated frequency, 51 is a current supply frequency. So instead of 433 volts, we should apply a voltage of 433 into 0.98. So it will give 424.34 volts for us. So this much voltage we should apply here. The frequency is 51 for us now. So what next? So what we will do? So similar way here, this parameter also we can calculate. So that value will come 0.97. So the final no load loss, whatever it is there, that is nothing but the wattmeter readings into 0.97. Like this we can do the frequency conversions, and all. So what about the voltage? So say for example, the voltage should be within 1%. So whatever the voltage is there, it should be within 1%. For example, say we have 430 volts and 433 volts and 437 volts. Let's take the average. So let's calculate the average. 430 plus 433 plus 437 by 3. So we got 433.33. So the average voltage of all the phases together should be within 1%. Then only we should perform the test. Otherwise, the test should be discontinued, because the variation in the voltages will give wrong results for us. And how we can measure these no load loss by using wattmeter method? We have two different methods. 2 wattmeter method is there, 2 wattmeter method, and another one is 3 wattmeter method. We have these 2 methods for us for measuring no load loss and no load current. So first let's discuss about 2 wattmeter method. So what we will do is, for example, this is a three-phase circuit, say. So in 2 wattmeter method, what we will do is simply we will insert wattmeter between one of the coil, to the one of the coil, and this is how the circuit will be there. So one terminal we will take it as a common, and say this is the W1 and this is the W2. So in this way you can just measure the different wattmeters, and you can connect voltmeters here, V1. So this will measure V1 and this will measure V2. Similarly, we can connect another voltmeter, V3. This will measure like this. Same fashion, you can connect frequency meter also, F1, F2 and F3. So this is how you can do with this 2 wattmeter method. In this method, so whatever the readings we got in W1 and W2, we can simply add those two values, and if we have any wattmeter multipliers, then those multipliers we can use it. So if the connections were wrong, the voltage, the coil connections, if they are wrong, so the voltage readings may be negative, so you can take care of that. So this is one of the arrangement points. So here what we did is, wattmeters are closer to our transformer terminals, and these voltage meter and frequency meters are connected just before the wattmeters. This is the correct way to measure it. Why? Because the wattmeters will measure only the actual no load loss. Otherwise, there is some other case. For example, these wattmeters, this voltmeters, whatever it is there, we can connect here also, V1 and W frequency meter F1. Like this we also can connect it. But in this case what happens, the voltmeter, the burden generally 2.5 VA around it will be there, and the frequency meter, the burden will be around 5 VA. So total 7.5 VA is added additionally into the no load losses. So in small transformers it may be very huge error. So connecting voltmeters just before the wattmeter is a good idea. And one more thing, in today's world most of the things we are going for digital. So we have most of the companies will have power analyzers. So many power analyzers are there. So if you simply connect to the transformer terminals, everything is digital. It will take care of everything automatically. So what about a 3 wattmeter method? So in this 3 wattmeter method, say for example, this is the transformer coils, and you have terminals like this. So in every coil, in every line, we are going to connect a wattmeter like this, and the common circuit will be like this. Whatever pressure coil we have, that is connected to the neutral. So this is a W1, this is a W2, and this is a W3. The total reading is W1 plus W2 plus W3. So this is summation of all the 3 readings. This is the best method, we can say. Most of the times we should prefer this method, because even though little bit variations are there in the supply voltage and voltage unbalances, this method will give still a good result. Previous method, 2 wattmeter method, where if you have any unbalances in the voltage profile, then it will give a little bit wrong results. So 2 wattmeter method is applicable when we have a total average is 0, current average total together is 0. There should not be any unbalances in the circuit. So the no load current is nothing but simply whatever the ammeters are there. For example, you can connect a ammeter here, and you can connect a voltmeter and a frequency meter here. So like that, these ammeter readings will give the current value, that is the no load current. So how it will measure, how we will indicate these no load current to the customers on test reports. For example, let's say you have one 1000 kVA transformer, 11 by 0.433 kV volts, and it is delta Y connected, dy and 11 otherwise. So what is the no load current for this transformer. So let's calculate the no load current. Otherwise, let's calculate the rated current first. So what happens is 1000 kVA, 1000 into the 1000 by 11 kV into root 3. We will get line voltage, I mean line current. So let's just calculate this. So you will get so 52.48 ampere is the rated current from the primary side. So what happens, this no load current, if you are measuring this no load current, generally that will be very less. It's almost very lesser value. Say for example, it can be like 1 ampere or 0.7 ampere like that. So this is the trend generally. But while measuring this no load current, you should not take the average. Say you have 3 meters, right? I01, I02, I03. You have 3 different ammeters. 3 different meters may give different readings, but for measuring this no load current, you should not take average. You should take only maximum rating. For example, this may be another one may be 1.2 ampere. So the no load current for this transformer is 1.2. It means it is of around 2.5% like that. So like this, you have to calculate. You have to give the results to the customer. And there are some cases customer needs over excitation data also. For example, when transformer is over excited at the site due to some issue or something, say for example at 112.5, this is the most common figure, 12.5% higher side, customers will ask for these no load loss and no load current. So we have to excite the code by this much, 112.5%, and you have to check all the no load loss and the no load current. Generally, this will be almost 2 times, we can say 2 times the initial value, and this is also very high value. This value we can't generally guarantee. I mean, it is very difficult to predict, but it will be very huge, or we can say very large value. Yeah. So this is about no load loss and no load current, guys. So why this no load? Let's discuss a little bit theory about it. Why this will be present in the transformers. So if it is ideal transformer means, it should not draw any magnetizing current. It should be 0, and ideal transformer means no load loss should be 0. This is for ideal transformer. But practically it is very difficult for us to make the ideal transformer, but still we are going for different advanced materials and a smaller thickness of core, and with that we are still able to get some losses, hysteresis and eddy current losses, and that is what we will get some no load losses in practical cases. Most of the practical cases we will get some no load losses. Similarly, for exciting that core, for magnetizing that core, we need some no load current also. So that value is not 0, it will be around some 2% like that. So these values purely depends upon the core construction, how the core is made, how the joints were made, everything depends upon it. Yeah, so this is about these guys, no load loss and no load current measurement. This is a routine test, and in the coming days we will discuss many other tests which we are going to perform on the transformer for checking its healthiness, robustness, and for ensuring for proper function and intended function. Yeah. So if you are watched this video till the end, if you have benefited this content, then do subscribe to this channel, so that whenever I am uploading videos, you will get notifications. You can simply click and watch it, and don't forget to like this video, and you can ask me if you need any further comments or anything in the comment section. So thank you guys, thanks for watching. We will meet in next video. Bye.